Hi friends, it has been a very long time since I've sat down and done a mental health chat. I would love to say that's because I've just been so mentally well that I haven't needed to. That's not the case. I have no excuse except for I tend to have what I like to call stress paralysis, which is when I am like so stressed out and have so many things that I need to do that I just kind of like shut down and don't do anything. You may be wondering about the title of this video, and in order to explain why my intrusive thoughts have repeatedly been telling me that I've made a terrible mistake, I have to backtrack a little bit. So let's go all the way back to 2022. I moved away from the studio that I normally record at in 2021, and I've been going back to Nashville to record. And I started realizing, like, kind of second half of 2022 that was just getting to be really difficult, especially if I was going to keep doing a song a month. So I decided to change things up slightly and do an album of all book-based songs. It's something that I had thought about doing for a really long time. My book-based songs tend to be the ones that people get excited the most about. So I thought, let's do a full album of that. It was the perfect timing because it was the 10th anniversary of Warrior. And I just thought I could still release a song a month, but it'll be like working towards something, and I'll just see how I feel about working on like a whole project rather than singles. So I put everything I had into it. I made some really cool music videos. I did visualizer videos and lyric videos, and it did fine, but it didn't do as well as I would have hoped. So I kind of took that as a sign from the universe where I was like, okay, well, if the most asked for thing that I do, which is book-based songs, still didn't like really shift the momentum for like my music, then I am going to come back to the book that I've been writing forever and the album that I have been working on for it forever and make that my goal for 2024. I am going to get this thing out. And that's why for the first half of this year, I think I've only released 2 songs. But this year has also been really weird too, because it has been such a series of like extreme highs and extreme lows. We literally started out the year, I think it was like January 5th or 6th, with getting a like pretty bad cancer diagnosis for my cat. And it led to about a month and a half of just like some of the worst anxiety and stress I've ever had, because it was not like a clear-cut, okay, it's time. Like, we tried to do some treatments and it would be like things would seem better and then it would be worse. And because I'm home all the time, I was in it just constantly. And she ended up passing away in mid-February. And then I couldn't really tell you anything that happened in March, April, May. I do not know. So then in June, I had the opportunity to go to Australia. I played my first international show. It was such an amazing trip, so like a real high. And then later in the summer, my other cat passed away. Extreme low. Then, this is so random, my husband and I were on Pictionary the game show and won. Yay. And literally we filmed that like 3 days after we lost Grover, so we were just kind of like, okay, we can repress some stuff and be on a game show, sure. So just really a roller coaster of emotions. And during this entire time, I'm simultaneously recording a full-length album for the book and trying to get the book finished. And I commissioned a bunch of artists to do character art so I could do a lyric and art zine, where it's basically like a companion to the actual book where you can go through and see artwork and see the lyrics and some little behind the scenes, like how I wrote the songs. And I think any of those things individually is a lot to take on, and taking on all 3 at the same time was too much. I can sit here and say, looking back, it was too much. And it didn't help that at every single stage of things, it felt like something went wrong. And it got to the point where right before the release, I remember telling my husband, like, I should feel something. Like, I should be excited and I should be proud. Like, this is an accomplishment. Like, I should feel something. But it got to the point where it was so stressful that, like, I wasn't feeling any of those positive emotions. And simultaneously, while this is going on, I forgot to mention this, I've been having some issues with my voice. And I've been doing like vocal therapy and, you know, trying to get my voice back to where it used to be. And I think I've lost a lot of joy in singing because it's been such a stressful thing with having these voice issues. So like that's also happening as all of the rest of this is happening. So I'm like army crawling my way to the finish line with getting this book out. And as I get closer and closer, I start getting so insecure about the choice that I made to write a young adult book, a contemporary teen fiction book. I love YA. It is what got me back into reading. The Mortal Instruments series, The Fault in Our Stars, the Divergent series, like that is what sparked my love for reading again. That's what got me started with writing book-based songs. I owe everything to the young adult genre. But YA is not really what's popular right now. Obviously, I'm fully in book talk and book threads and bookstagram, and right now the thing is romantasy. And seemingly the spicier the better, which is great, but also is not what my book is at all. So as I'm moving through this process, I just keep being like, are people going to expect me to have written a fantasy book? Are people even going to care about this YA book? I love writing teen fiction. I think being a teenager is such a emotionally charged time in your life, and I love writing about it because I'm an emotionally charged adult. I don't have to reach very far when it comes to writing these characters from an authentic place. And I know that theoretically you should not write to trends. You should write what you want to write. And I've never really been interested in writing fantasy. I've never wanted to do a ton of world building and create a magic system, and that just isn't where my heart is. So it's really been this weird internal battle of fully standing by and loving the book that I wrote, and also thinking, was this the worst decision I could have made? To put making other music on hold to write an album for this book, to write something that is not the genre of my most popular songs. But I remember what reading, especially The Fault in Our Stars, made me feel. And I was like, I want to make people feel like that. And I think maybe I took for granted the percentage of my audience for music that would right out of the gate be interested in this book. There's kind of a template with self-published authors. You do a lot of promo on the front end before it comes out. You send a lot of advanced reader copies. You make some deals, I guess, with bookstagram accounts to do promos and things. And I didn't do a lot of that. Obviously, I posted about it before it came out, but as far as sending advanced copies, I kind of just handpicked some people that I know have been following me for a long time or have come to my shows. I kind of hand selected maybe 45 people to send an advanced copy to. And maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I should have followed the more common practices for self-publishing a book, but I was just trying so hard to get these 3 projects finished. And I just figured with the amount of YouTube subscribers I have and the amount of monthly listeners I have on Spotify, even if a fraction of that took a chance on this book, I'd be doing pretty good. But tomorrow marks 2 weeks since it came out, and it's been disappointing. The people who have read it really seem to like it. I love the soundtrack. I feel so proud of what I've made, but I just can't get that voice out of my head that keeps saying it was a mistake to write in the genre. It was a mistake to not do all of the marketing stuff beforehand. I feel like a failure. And I know a huge part of it is playing the long game and posting about it and promoting it, but I'm so afraid I'm going to alienate the audience that I have if I inundate them with stuff about this book. And I had a release event at a bookstore the Saturday after it came out. And I was so appreciative to everybody that came out, but I thought more people would come out. And excuse my language, but it is such a mindfuck sometimes. This place that I'm in where I, on the one hand, sent so many international orders of the book to so many different countries, yet it's not doing that well. Or have somebody drive, and this is true, Mary, shout out to you, you're one of the real ones. Somebody drove 11 hours to come to my book signing, yet I couldn't fill all of the seats in there in a pretty small store. And sometimes I just have such a hard time reconciling how both of those things can be true at the same time. If you've been here a while, you know that I've made a point to not sugarcoat things and to talk about when I'm mentally struggling. And this has been really hard. This is probably the hardest thing that I've ever done. And I'm still questioning if I did the right thing, and I'm questioning what I should do next because I have another YA contemporary book that I want to write, and I'm like, is that a huge mistake? But I also don't want to write something inauthentic, but I also know that I should be working on some music other than this, but it's just like, it's so much. And it's so hard when you feel like the decisions that you're making are like hugely consequential. And I'd love to wrap this up in like a pretty package with a nice bow and say like, here's how I got through it. But like, I'm still in it. I'm trying really hard to like clock the positive things. I think, you know, the thing that makes me feel the best is the number of people that have said that they're proud of me. So many of you have been with me on this journey for years. And I think, and I hope that you have, you know, a little sense of ownership of this. Like you have watched me do this for such a long time now. And so it means a lot when people say that they're proud of me. But I just hope that I can find some clarity somewhere on what I need to do. Honestly, it feels so icky to end this with a marketing pitch, but I feel like if I've talked about this book for this whole video, I should at least tell you about it. So my first book, The Have Not, is out now. It has a soundtrack that goes with it. It has this incredible lyric and art zine that you can get on my website, featuring just like some beautiful art, lyrics behind the making of the songs. This is one of the things that I'm the most proud of. And I didn't even do most of the work in this. But art is really important to me, and supporting artists is really important to me. So having an excuse to be able to hire like 26 of them was really exciting. But I really do believe in this book. I wrote the kind of book that I would want to read in the same way that I write the kind of music that I want to listen to. And I do think that it's cool that like the way I have it, where you've got QR codes that take you to the album for the specific songs that you're prompted to listen to. Like I should feel proud. So yeah, that's that on that. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.